What's up, y'all? It's your boy Vinnie-Dangerous, and I'm back with another installment of Dangerous Minds. I'm back off hiatus. Took some time away, to set some things in place for 2018. Got some big things for you next year. We'll allude to that a little bit later. Follow the IG at Dangerous Minds YouTube, or like the fan page on Facebook. I'll leave the links for all of that in the subscription, along with the Patreon backer site. So if you'd like to contribute to the show and all the great and wonderful things that will be coming soon, you can donate $1 or $2 a month, and it will be greatly appreciated. So I'm back off hiatus, if anybody missed me, to talk about the man of the hour. And it has nothing to do with the NFL this time. I know some people were complaining about the fact that I was on this Colin Kaepernick situation so hard. And I'm very passionate about it. So forgive me. I really don't care, so fuck you. But what I want to talk about, what got me off hiatus, is what a lot of people been hitting me up saying that I gotta bring the show back just to talk about this, is Eminem's Freestyle at the BET Hip Hop Awards. Now, I've been watching a lot of videos, been, checking a lot of comments and a lot of people's, write-ups about it. I've been looking at different people's reactions to it, and I've seen there's been, kind of like this 50-50 split almost. It's like this real mixed reaction to what M had to say. There's one side that absolutely loved it, and there's another side that hated it. There's one side that says he was, impactful. He said everything that we were thinking. He did something that a lot of people were afraid to do, was to go at Donald Trump and go at the state of America, go at the NFL situation, go at a lot of these problems like Puerto Rico, go into a lot of these issues that a lot of people have been either silent or barely talking about. They might say a line or two. There was other rappers during the BET Hip Hop Awards, during the various ciphers and different speeches, that people said flating, words. People say a couple things here and there, but nobody was really attacking the issue the way Eminem did, that that people want, like fans would want their other favorite rappers, favorite artists to talk about. And then there's another side that's saying M is white, he can get away with that. M is an established hip-hop artist. There was a rumor at one point, I don't know if it's still true or not, that M was supposed to be dropping an album next month, and that would have been his 9th studio album. He's been in the game and he's been on top of it. Some people say he's the greatest of all time. I don't personally feel he's the greatest of all time. There's a lot of people that do. And all these other things. There's even the Trump supporters / Eminem fans that were offended by that one line when he basically said, you can't support me and support him. You can't support what I represent and support what he represents at the same time. You have to choose. And if you are conflicted about it, if you really don't know what side you want to be on, then I don't fuck with you at all. And I'm paraphrasing. I'm not going to quote this guy, line for line for this video, but that was the basis of what he was talking about. It's got a lot of people that maybe was on both sides a little triggered. People talking about Eminem's past with his crazy lyrics about dissing homosexuals and killing his his ex-wife, or all of the stuff he used to say about his mother, and like all the crazy shock value stuff that was in his career and in his music early on. They're bringing it back now to say, hey, how can you say Trump is deplorable and you've said and alluded to doing these things in your music? And my response to that one in particular is the fact that, just like the gangster rap thing, I'm not the biggest fan of the messages that a lot of people promote when it comes to selling drugs, killing people. I don't always support it, but I'll listen to it because at the end of the day, it's entertainment. It's just like when you watch a movie and you seeing gangsters like Scarface and The Godfather, and you see all these other movies, you know, or you play a video game like Grand Theft Auto, and they are just there for entertainment. It's exaggerated. It's, you know, something that isn't real, and it's told to you that it isn't real. I mean, you know, gangster rap, they tell you that it's real, but, you know, if you really understand, you know the truth. And usually the people that make those type of comparisons don't really understand. So I just look at M as a parody of like horror movies, fantasy and fiction and stuff like that. So, you know, if you really understand, then you know that it's not like that. So just dismiss that shit altogether, because you obviously don't know. But I can see, as far as like a lot of the other stuff, like, you know, the people that say, oh, he's white, he's privileged, he's, you know, established, he doesn't have to worry about saying the certain things that maybe other rappers can't say early on in their career, or can't say because they're black or whatever like that. I can understand that side, because there's a part of me that, you know, look at M and the fact that he got 4 minutes to rap about Donald Trump, and he was, you know, given that spot to, you know, do his cipher. I don't even think, you know, who knows, they might have not even known before recording that he was gonna say all he had to say about Trump, or that he was gonna be exclusively talking about Trump. There's a chance they didn't even know. So they gave that spot to him without even knowing that he was gonna say the things he was gonna say and do the things he was gonna do. And that comes with being an established rapper, being a legend in the game, being possibly a white dude. I mean, we know who's really running the scenes at BET, and, you know, unless you believe Deborah Lee is one of the top head honchos for real, you know that it's not black people running black entertainment television. So that could also have something to do with it too. But let me say this, I didn't watch it live. I don't really watch TV. I don't really watch award shows like the BET Hip Hop Awards like that, because honestly, other than the ciphers, it's not really interesting. You already know who's gonna win. There's a popularity contest for, you know, the dudes that you already are giving all the accolades to just pat themselves on the back one more time. A lot of the times, I know with the BET Awards, even the BET Hip Hop Awards, a lot of the real big names don't even show up because they don't even think it's worth their time. So I'm kind of in that same camp. I'm not really like, you know, watching it because besides the ciphers, for the most part, the performances suck, the speeches suck. I'm never really a fan of anybody that wins most of the awards, so I don't really, you know, bother with it. The ciphers itself have been becoming less interesting. You know, a lot of the rappers up there are not really even that good. You have a couple standouts here and there, but for the most part, you know, they kind of suck. And, you know, I'll catch the clips of the people that I want to listen to on YouTube after the fact. So I don't really even have to watch the whole show to catch all the ciphers and catch the ones that I really want to hear and the ones that stood out to me. So I didn't watch it live, but, you know, my phone was blowing up the next morning. Some close friends of mine already was hitting me up talking about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, talking about, yo, you gotta check out M's freestyle. He went off, he went in. So I pull it up, and I ain't gonna lie, I loved it. Like, my first reaction was, wow. It wasn't exactly the wittiest one. It wasn't the most cleverest one, but I could tell it was a genuine freestyle. Like, he started it off with the, you know, the pot line. Kind of like, I know that that's kind of like a bar you just take and you start with and you just add on with whatever comes into your mind. Like, he's doing a genuine freestyle in a genuine cipher setting. He didn't even use a beat. He just used his mind and like went free range. So I wasn't expecting geniusly craft bars and all these complex metaphors. I mean, M has already proved that he got that. He did Rap God, he did countless songs and verses letting you know how great lyrically he is. So he didn't even need to do that this time. I mean, he's Eminem. Like I said, he's an established hip hop artist, a giant in the game. He doesn't need to prove that shit to you. I mean, there's a couple lines here and there that made me laugh, like the Fantastic Four line. I thought that was pretty dope. But for the most part, he just was straight to the point. Like, he smashed Donald Trump top to bottom. And I had really no complaints about it. But I could still see the other side of it. Like, there's countless other artists that have spoken about Trump, spoken about these situations that frankly did it better and didn't get the recognition they deserved. And people are kind of holding Eminem to this certain level because of who he is, and he decided to speak on it. And I personally, looking at that response, was annoyed and offended by that. Just because, you know, I don't understand what you respect more. Do you respect the messenger or the message? Is it really, it doesn't matter what voice spoke the words if the words are true and the words are impactful and they're words that we need. That's why I had a conversation with somebody a few weeks ago about, you know, they believe that we need more leaders in the fight. Like, we need some people to stand up and take that. And my response was, why? Because all you're gonna do is question his credibility. You're gonna question, you know, how big of a voice he is. Like, what does he really know? Like, you're gonna have all these things in your mind that are gonna turn, and you're gonna say to yourself, he's not worth my time. Why should I follow you? Why should I even take your advice? Like, you're gonna second, third, fourth guess it. And, you know, at that point, I felt like it's no point. And then I thought about it, because I thought about it like when I was offended, and then I thought about the other responses that people were giving, like the negative side of everything that M was talking about. And then I realized, like, oh shit, I'm just like those people that I was just critiquing about when we said we needed more leaders to step up, like in the black community or in the communities that are less fortunate, you know, all this other stuff, right? I realized I was doing the exact same thing to Eminem. And a lot of those people are doing the exact same thing to Eminem. They're questioning him for what he's saying because he's white and because he's a, you know, privileged and established artist, and all these other critiques they have of him, not even taking into account of what he's saying. And then there's the thing about, it's been said before. I mean, do you realize that if you want another leader to pop up, he's going to say a lot of things that have already been said before. So I had my problems with it until I watched Dead End Hip Hop's video when they discussed it. And one thing they said that really stuck out to me, and when I finally heard it, like when I heard them say it, it finally resonated with me. The fact that M said what he said, not just in the air, it wasn't directed at just aimlessly, and it wasn't just directed at him like preaching to the choir. He wasn't just saying things to people that already know the truth and that already know this stuff. That's why I liked it, I loved it, but at the same time, it didn't hit me the way it hit everybody else. Everybody was super excited, on top of the world about it. And, you know, I was saying it's been said before. But then the line that really like brought it full circle for me was when he drew the line in the sand and saying, if you support Trump and support me, you have to choose. I realized that he wasn't talking to me. That freestyle was aimed at white people or his white fans that may not necessarily, have listened to any of the other people say the things that he said, that may not be fully aware of the situation when it comes to minorities, when it comes to the NFL. Like, I appreciate him including the NFL situation and Colin Kaepernick's stance in his verse, in his, I mean, not in his verse, it's not a verse, in his freestyle. I appreciate him doing that. I appreciate him talking about Puerto Rico because he was using his platform, his message, and aiming it at his fans, that if it came from me, if it came from Black Thought, if it came from Lord Jamar, if it came from Chuck D, if it even came from Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, if it even came from somebody like Drake, they would not listen the way they would listen if it came from Eminem. And I think that's the part that made me love it and not question it and just appreciate it and give Eminem the respect that he deserves for what he did, because he took his platform to talk to the people that may be the last that need to be woken up when it comes to this situation. So that's my stance on it. So on that note, I give him his props. We can pick holes into it all we want. We can give all the complaints and have all these, jaded opinions about it and about the man giving the message. Or we should just appreciate the fact that the message was told on the level that it was told, and it was told to an audience that necessarily wasn't gonna get the message if it came from me or you. Sometimes it takes your own for you to really pay attention. So that's my time. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm happy to be back. Tune in next week. If I decide to cancel again, I'll let you know. But right now, we're back on schedule. We're back on track. Please follow the IG, like the Facebook fan page, and support the Patreon site. Tune in next time. Peace. Much love.
Don't worry about it. Y'all promised this is something they ain't heard before. I'm all about giving the people something a little different. Hi-hats,